Well, once again, we are here on the weekend for Stories of Great Christians. We heard quite a doozy yesterday in chapter 18. Are you ready to take on chapter 19 now? I wonder. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. I hope you are. And if that's the case, I don't want to keep you waiting in suspense. Let's find it for you and get to chapter 19 from the Moody Bible Institute. Stories of Great Christians.
We greet our friends everywhere with chapter 19 of To Ask No Man, story of George Mueller's incredible adventure with God. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, brought to you by the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.
I tried a trifle harder to understand George in those years between 1836 and 42. I tried to look beyond his jolly trumpeting about how God helped him out of every financial strain. Because underneath it all, those years must have been rather terrifying to old George. There he'd adopted almost 100 homeless children, agreed to feed, clothe, educate, and maintain 3 homes for them. And he did it on less than a shoestring. No capital resources at all. George must have been scared at times, just like you or I would have been. But all I saw those years was his determined, childlike faith that showed itself usually as confounded cockiness. And this cockiness got worse. Finally, I knew it was bound to doom the very thing he'd set out to prove. That God still builds monuments to answered prayer. There was the time, for instance, that George insulted the widow from the Lake Country. Let me tell you about it. It was in October 42, and it all began right in George and Mary Mueller's own living room at 21 Paul Street, Bristol. It was...
It's been such a good afternoon. Isn't it wonderful, George, to make a new Christian friend? Now, Mrs. Brightman, we'll have some more tea. Another biscuit.
No, thank you, my dear. I really must be going.
It's such a long trip. You take supper with us, Nine? We need more good talk.
Oh, you young folks are so very kind to an old lady. The tea has been hearty. I won't need to buy supper on the way at all. No, I must go now.
We understand. But we hate to end this talk of Christian things. Mary, Mrs. Brightman says.
Of course. And umbrella. Only one I own. I'd hate to lose it.
Mrs. Brightman, before you go, there is something that...
Yes, Mr. Mueller?
By your visit, we are inspired. Your Christian interest in the orphanages. We appreciate it.
Ah, the visit has been all gain for me, Mr. Mueller.
That you can always say, and mean it more.
Well, I'm sure I...
Here's what I mean. Mrs. Brightman, what I say to you I've never said before to anybody, except my wife and the orphans.
What is it, Mr. Mueller?
I begin this way. God showers me with miracles of answered prayer. Some you hear this afternoon.
Yes.
He keeps on blessing. I know. The more responsibility I put on my shoulders, the more he will support and answer my requests.
Never lose that faith.
Mrs. Brightman, I want to add you to my responsibility.
What?
Because your testimony inspires us. I want you to share a common purse with me.
Why, Mr. Mueller, whatever do you mean?
I want you to feel my purse is your purse. For we both share God's purse.
But, Mr. Mueller,
Nine, don't stop me. As I say, I've never before said this thing to anybody. But today I'm led.
But why?
Because your Christian testimony should be rewarded. God makes me the agent. Mrs. Brightman, I want you to know you can lean on George and Mary Mueller. Time of need, call to us for help. From this day on, We have one purse together.
Dear, oh dear, what have I said?
Nothing and everything. The one umbrella, no supper on the way home. So many little clues. Mrs. Brightman, please don't be ashamed. It was inside.
Oh, my dear young man, and you are very young. How old?
27. But I
So
don't...
young, and I'm so old. Until now, so proud.
Please don't be embarrassed.
Young man, I accept your offer.
Wonderful.
I thank you for it.
Thank God. He provides.
But somehow I must have given you the wrong impression. I didn't want to buy my supper on the way home because I'm afraid of indigestion when I travel. And as for the umbrella, well,
I don't
Mr.
understand.
Mueller, there is something you don't understand. I've never had any money worries in my whole life. And just recently, I inherited a tidy little legacy. You see, Mr. Mueller, I'm considered by most quite a wealthy woman.
George, you insulted that poor woman.
Not poor, Mary.
Well, I mean... All right, what did you say to her then?
What could I? I mumbled something about the misunderstanding.
Well, I hope you told her in a hurry to forget that part about sharing a common purse. Oh, George, how could you? What she must have thought.
It was a mistake. She knew.
I wonder.
She did. Truth is, she said she liked the idea of a common purse.
She what?
Oh, I said no after I found out about her. But she
George,
said,
what did you say?
well, she says she regards her money as a provision from God. Provision for her safekeeping.
Naturally.
I insisted no common purse, and she agreed.
I should hope so.
But Mary, she said something else too.
Something else?
She said she thinks the Lord gives her this wealth not so much for her safekeeping as for investments. For a long time, she prays about it.
George,
She wants me to pray too.
pray for what?
Ask God to show her exactly where He'd have her put her legacy.
George, you wouldn't.
Wouldn't what, Mary? Don't look at me like that. Oh Lord, for almost a month I pray faithfully for the widow. Every day, 24 days. Work your will in her life. I'll keep my promise. I won't speak a word of my needs. I won't ask any man or woman. But Lord, show the widow the way. I do feel she would be blessed mightily if she gave her money over to the orphanages.
George!
Here, Mary. Ah, such a day.
Company, George!
Oh, just a minute. I take off my overshoes. Oh, you saved some tea for me. Well, Mrs. Brightman.
Afternoon, young man.
Well, you come all the way from Lake Country just for tea.
Here, George, here we are.
Thank you.
I came, Mr. Miller, to accept your offer of a common purse.
Mrs. Brightman,
Things have changed since I saw you last.
How so? Oh, but no need to say. The offer holds. What is mine is yours.
Good, and what is mine is yours.
Our home is always open to you, no matter what happens to you.
You young people misunderstand me again. But this time I wanted to fool you.
What?
Mrs. Brightman.
Things have changed, all right. In here, in my heart, not my bank book.
Then
I
what
want
did you...
to share a common purse because the Lord has told me to give up my money.
Mrs. Brightman. George!
This is...
A surprise to you, Mr. Mueller, I know. But please don't refuse it on that account. I know it's what the Lord wants. He wants the orphanages to have my legacy.
What can we say?
Well, I say, there is much to say. But first, this. Mrs. Brightman, I can't agree. Not right away.
What?
You mustn't rush into such a thing.
Oh, but I haven't, Mr. Mueller. I know
Why,
just...
if you know, then think it over. Mrs. Brightman, sometimes I'm frightened by the power of prayer.
Why?
Frightened. Mrs. Brightman, think this over for 2 full weeks. Then, if the Lord still says so, the orphanages will accept your legacy.
I had to admire George when he did things like that, because he needed that money. Needed it in less than a month, too, by December 31st. But in 2 weeks he got his letter from the Lake Country widow. She wrote,
Since I last saw you, I haven't found the slightest doubt about what I ought to do. Won't you pray I'll never offend my Father in heaven by regretting this act of obedience? I've asked my heart if I'm really doing it unto him, and my heart assures me I am, not for anything but obedience to the written word. I want you to have my money, and I'll forward it soon.
December 6, 1842. My dear Sister Brightman, your letter finds me in peace. It did not surprise. Dealing with God is a reality. Saints have power with him through Jesus. It's now 42 days since you first talked of this matter. Praise God for his wisdom that made me speak about sharing one purse.
December 16, 1842. Dear Mr. Mueller, how I hesitate to tell you there's some delay in my signing over the money to you immediately. Probably it won't be paid in full until the end of January 43. It's just a legal technicality, but it can't be rushed.
December 31, 1842. In reference to the delay, I rejoice. This gives abundant opportunity for you to ponder. Afterwards you can say, you did nothing in haste.
But the first of the year came, and the widow had not transferred her money. Every day in January, George waited for the post. But the whole month went by, and still nothing. February came and went, and the widow didn't even write again. But on March 8th, 1843...
The money has now been legally transferred. You'll find it waiting for you at your banker's in Bristol. Use it in the way you want. But please, Mr. Mueller, do spend a little of it on yourself and Mary.
Mr. Mueller, you're beaming all over. Look like somebody just handed you a present. I wish something good had happened at the house today. Nothing happened. Oh, Jerry fell down and scraped his knee. And, yes, do you know number 4 Wilson?
Of course, Brother Terence.
They came in today.
Another broken window?
No, nothing like that. They're going to move.
Sure.
They said they'd give us first chance at their house. Of course, I thanked them, but I said it was impossible.
You mean, Brother Terence, they gave us first chance to rent that house next door?
The Graham said you might want another roomy place to start another home. But I told them it's a pity we have no money at all. Just 3 shillings in the house.
Brother Terence, let's go into the parlor. What I tell you now is a big surprise.
So we conclude Chapter 19 of To Ask No Man, the story of George Mueller's incredible adventure with God. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, which come to you transcribed from the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.
amazing story in the life and the adventure of George Mueller. Well, as long as we're bragging on the Lord, we're in good standing. But it's when we think that we're doing something, and we start bragging on our own resting on our laurels and thinking that we have certain ability, that's beware. A fall is probably coming, and a great fall it is. Pride is the same thing that tripped up the devil. Once the beautiful morning star, Lucifer, became Satan because he wanted even more than God. He wanted to be what he was not. He was created. God always was. You can never be more than your master. Well, some people have problems with that because they have a low view of God, and they think about God as if they think of themselves. But we continue in the stories with our eyes on the Lord, as George Mueller did to help others. I think you'll be in good standing and good company. Till next time, Lord keeping me around, Lord keeping you around, we continue this story in May, chapters 20 through 27, and we'll probably conclude that story by the end of the month. Can you believe by then we're only nearly half the year over already? Just started, didn't it? Oh well. May the Lord bless and keep you, and if He tarries, I look forward to seeing the next adventures. Take care.